Arsenal are going to be out of the title race if we don't get all 3 points at home on Saturday afternoon against Crystal Palace in the Premier League. This is a huge game, coming off 3 losses in a row and a 2-week winter break that saw the Arsenal squad have a mini training camp in Dubai. We just have to win. We just have to. Sitting 5 points off Liverpool, who are on fire. City are about to go on that 20-game win streak that we're all expecting to see. And Spurs looking like a genuine threat. We can't afford anything but to win in our next handful of games. If we want the title or even a chance at it, we must win this game. It is that huge. Pause. So in today's video, we'll be discussing the game, team news, and how I think Arsenal should line up against Palace. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Gunner Central here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, coming into this massive London derby, I don't really have to talk all that much about Arsenal's form. Everyone has been speaking about it. It has just been horrible. Let's just say it like it is. In our last 5 games, it's 3 losses, 1 draw, and 1 win. And that 1 win was that 2-0 win against Brighton. And since then, we have struggled to get any wins. We had a 1-1 draw in the league against Liverpool, but our last 2 London derbies, we lost 2-0 to West Ham, 2-1 to Fulham, and our most recent game, we lost 2-0 to Liverpool in a game that we should have won. We have been in horrible form, at least results-wise. And this is a hot take, but I don't think we've been all that bad. Not as bad as the results have been showing. I think, yes, we have been absolutely horrible in front of goal. Horrible. And that is the reason why we have been so poor results-wise. But outside of that, I think the Liverpool game, we were the better team, but we just couldn't finish to save our lives. Fulham, we weren't good, but we had more than enough chances to win the game. West Ham, we had more than enough chances to win the game. I mean, we have just been absolutely horrible in the final third. Even that 2-0 win against Brighton, we were horrible in the final third. Horrible. We should have probably won that game 4-5-0, but we were so bad in front of goal, we were lucky to get a 2-0 win over Brighton. But showing you how bad we have been in front of goal. Despite sitting 4th in the league, we ranked 7th in the league in goals scored, 1.9 goals per match. That doesn't sound bad, but if we want to win the title, we can't sit 7th in the league on goals scored. We have to be efficient in front of goal, and honestly, I think if we had a good number 9, or at least if we were clinical in front of goal, we would be sitting probably 2nd or 1st with goals scored. We have created tons and tons of good chances, but we just can't finish to save our lives, which is going to pose a big question on what front 3 do we field out there. Obviously, despite his poor form, Bukayo has to be a starter, but the other 2 in the front 3 is going to be quite questionable. I'm curious to see what Arteta does with that front 3. And now Crystal Palace's last 5 games in this stretch hasn't been all that good neither. They have a 3-1 win over Brentford, but then they have a 0-0 with Everton and a 1-1 with Brighton, and then a 2-1 loss to Chelsea and a 1-0 loss to Everton most recently. They're not too great of form. I think their form is a bit better than ours, but Palace this season just haven't been all that good. They sit 14th in the table, 5 wins in 20 games in the Premier League. Not all that great. They rank 18th in goals scored per match, which is horrible for them. They haven't scored in their last 2 matches, and they haven't won an away game in their last 5. We really have all the chips for us. We've had 2 weeks off. We've had a good training camp that could hopefully build team morale and build team bonding, but we need to be better than we have recently. We just have to. We haven't scored in our last 2 home games, but coming into this game, in our last 3 games against Palace, we won all 3. We should go in there and actually win pretty comfortably. There is no reason as to why we can't go in there, take our chances, and win the game comfortably. We're not going to be getting Benzema in January, or at least that's my opinion anyway. So if we want to win this game, we have to be clinical. We have to be good, as we have been in recent games, but we have to be clinical in the final third. That's what we haven't done in recent games. Again, outside of our missed chances, you have to be honest. Arsenal haven't been all that bad playing-wise. We haven't been great. We haven't been purring. It hasn't been rock and roll football, but it hasn't been all that bad. Had we taken the chances that we created, we would probably have won more games than lost. We need to sharpen up, especially in that final third. Now, going into injuries, we're going to start off with Arsenal. And a big injury blow. As much as he hasn't really been good for us this season, Zinchenko probably won't be fit for Palace. Although, obviously, I'm not Arteta, so I don't know for sure. But based off reports, Zinchenko won't be playing against Palace, which you know what that means. Kivior time at left back. How exciting that's going to be. Vieira won't be back until February. Jesus could and probably should be back. He trained with the team as per normal in Dubai, and he should be back and ready to play against Palace. But I mean, you never know. Timber, there's been reports I've seen about him coming back in February, but based off my research, that is not going to be likely. It is late March for Timber, early April. It's just not likely that he'll be coming back in February. I believe it was a pretty big account that reported it, but by no means had any inside sources. Thomas Partey, we don't know. He could be back. He could be on the bench, which is of course very, very exciting if Partey could at least be on the bench. Hopefully he'll be back, but we don't know. He has been training here and there at the team. He's expected to come back late January, So if it's not this game, then it's definitely the next. Hopefully Partey will be back. We need every bit of hope we can get. And the other two players that'll be missing the game will be Al-Neni, international duty with AFCON, and Tomiyasu, international duty with Japan. And as for injuries, as far as Crystal Palace go, they're pretty decent on the injury front. Decore will be out. Obviously, he's going to be out for the whole season with an Achilles tendon injury. Ward will be doubtful, but probably could play the game. Ferguson will be doubtful. Rob Holding, the former Arsenal player, is doubtful, but could be back for the game. And Ayew will be out for international duty. Otherwise, they're pretty sharp. They're pretty fit, and they're going to be raring to go in the Emirates Stadium. It is a huge challenge for them, but a win like this could get their season back on track very quickly. So we have to be wary. We have to be up for this game. Now, going on to the starting 11 that I would play if I was Arteta. In goal, me personally, I would play Aaron Ramsdale, but I'm not going to say Aaron Ramsdale because it's just not going to happen. Especially with the reports of Raya signing permanently with Arsenal, it's just not going to happen. Raya is our number one keeper, and he'll be starting against Palace, even though I prefer Ramsdale as a keeper, but whatever. Raya in goal. The right back position, I know he's been quite poor recently, but I'd put Ben White there. This break that we've had has hopefully refreshed a lot of the players that have been playing poorly. Hopefully it's going to re-energize them and bring them back to their best. For me, right back would be Ben White. The centre backs would obviously be Saliba and Gabriel, and like I alluded to, Zinchenko won't be fit, Timber won't be fit, so you know what time it is. The best left back in the world, Jakub Kiwior, will be starting for us at left back. My midfield, it's pretty controversial, maybe. Obviously, Declan Rice starts for me and Martin Odegaard starts for me. No controversy there. But I would start Smith Rowe. I asked you guys on the community tab yesterday, would you start Smith Rowe against Crystal Palace? And a huge portion of you guys said yes. And I agree. I think Smith Rowe should start. He'll add a little more creativity in the midfield. I know Havertz could help us in the air, but I would start Smith Rowe midfield. Left wing for me, I know he's been poor, but again, hopefully this break can re-energize him and bring him back to his best. For me, it has to be Gabriel Martinelli. He came on against Liverpool and looked very lively. I know he could be a good super sub, but I would start him against Palace and hopefully see his best. Right wing obviously has to be star boy Bukayo Saka, who has been our best attacker of the season, believe it or not, especially stats wise. And up top, up striker, I was contemplating maybe starting Havertz. I think it'd help us up top in the air, and Crystal Palace is a very physical team, but I'm still going with Gabby Jesus. If Gabby Jesus is fit, if he isn't fit, for me Havertz starts and Nketiah still stays on the bench, but I think Gabby Jesus will be fit for the game, so for me Gabby Jesus starts up front. But yeah guys, that's the video. That's my starting 11 for the game. Let me know in the comments below what starting 11 would you guys go with for the game. And I know we have been so poor recently, but I'm so excited to see Arsenal play again. I know that sounds very stupid of me because we've been so bad, but I just can't wait to see these guys play. I love this club, and I'm really hoping we get all 3 points against Palace. We need to get all 3 points against Palace. Let me know in the comments below what starting 11 would you guys go with for the game, and what are your predictions for the game. Let me know in the comments below. Please be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.